This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. Live stream and talk about some comments I've been getting about people that do not understand the Constitution, do not understand the difference between protesting and breaking the law. And, it's getting a little out of control, okay? But yeah, I got to share some comments with you because there's some Americans that have no clue, obviously never read the Constitution or the Bill of Rights or the Declaration of Independence, the three main documents of our government, and don't understand how they're all associated with each other. But we'll go into that, okay? But I decided to do a Saturday morning, see if I get some people show up. Plus, I've been going to bed early at night. The one thing about me is when I go down to winter hours, it starts getting dark out. I go to bed at 7, but I get up at 5, right? 4 or 5. Anyway, crazy times. Are you enjoying this snowstorm out there on the East Coast? I remember around Christmas time of 2008, around Christmas time of 1989. Okay, got it out, Tom. Well, when I was at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, out on the coast, we got 18 inches of snow. The base was closed for 6 days. I lived in the barracks then, but we were eating basically beans and weenies in the chow hall with the cooks that were in the barracks and stuff. But we made it. We suffered through. We got 6 days off because of the weather. Anyway, so they do get snow in North Carolina. And I was there when they got a big dump back in 1989. Yeah, you deal with these military bases, they ain't got snow removal equipment. And when they got to deal with snow, just like these cities or whatever states that don't have snow removal equipment, I mean, it gets pretty interesting. I was stationed out at Whidbey Island, Washington, and the first year I was out there, we got a lot of snow. They don't typically get snow like we did, and it was something else. The base was closed several times throughout that winter, day or two and stuff. But I lived off base then, which was, hey, I got the day off. Anyway, pretty neat. So yeah, but this is winter. We've been enjoying a very mild winter. I would say even a mild fall we've had here. And it was 10 below zero this morning, so we got a little winter. It's nice to see the snow. And hopefully this will cut down on my allergies now that we did get a little moisture. But don't worry. By Monday, it's going to be in the 40s, and by next weekend, it's going to be in the 50s again. So we'll have green grass in February here in the Panhandle of Nebraska. That'll be strange. You got the day off? Yeah. When they close the base, you got the day off. Just like closing school, But anyway, that's the way it is. You go to these military bases, like, these military bases now, they're dealing with these storms and stuff. You live off base. They ain't running, okay? I mean, yeah, I went to cold weather training in the Marine Corps up in Wisconsin and did the whole thing up there. But, I lived up in Minnesota too, so I understand living in snow. But anyway, that's the deal with winter, right? Enjoy it. Anyway, let's get on with the subject. Talk about when does protesting become law breaking? And we're going to discuss the Constitution a little bit, okay? Because from the comments I've been getting, a lot of people don't understand the Constitution. I mean, they don't understand nothing about it. Read it once. Read the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence and see how they all are intertwined. But I'm going to go over that. But first, with these protesters. Okay, protesting is one thing. Impeding law enforcement from doing their job is breaking the law. It's a crime. You can't do that. And if I were to do that, I would get slammed down to the ground. Pummeled on, okay? I know that. But these people say they're protesting. How I would love to see once where ICE had cooperation from the local police departments. Everybody was working together, from the fellow citizens say, yep, there's an illegal in this house. Oh, they're busted into people's houses without warrants. When you got probable cause, you don't need warrants. Okay? On the spot, probable cause. But anyway, why don't we have immigration laws to protect the American citizen, to protect our culture, to protect our way of life. Okay, and these ain't immigrants, like I say, these are invaders. They're not coming to assimilate to American culture. They're invading and setting up their own little countries in our country. Like Minneapolis is becoming, well, the whole state of Minnesota. I came from Minnesota 3 years ago. So I can say this. The whole state of Minnesota is becoming little Somalia. Even Walnut Grove, Minnesota. Yeah, little house on the prairie. Becoming Somaliaville. Crazy times. But anyway, they're trying to enforce the law to get rid of these people who are here illegally because if one thing, it's their job, all right? And it protects your way of life. I mean, we complain about how much rent is and stuff. Well, yeah, because we got all these illegals renting. I mean, if we got rid of the H-1B visa workers and the illegals, you know how much costs would go down in this country? By the way, ICE is just doing its job, what they get paid for. What do you want them to do? Go to the donut shop and drink coffee and eat donuts all day? Is that what you want them to do? And all you people that think ICE isn't a law enforcement agency? Well, you mean I don't know where to go from that. But then you're probably the same people that think a man can get pregnant. And then some people you can't fix stupid. No matter what facts throw at them, you can't fix it. But ICE is just doing its job. Doing its job. If they don't do their job, they should get fired, right? If you didn't do your job at work, you'd get fired. So like I say, what is ICE supposed to do? We got at least 20, 30 million illegals in this country. They got a lot of work to do. Maybe we should support them as Americans. Hey, thanks for doing a job. Good job. Something to help them out. Okay? But if you are impeding a law enforcement official from doing their duty, you are breaking the law. And you will be treated as such. The thing is, in this Minnesota shit, and I realize it's dying down, but they need to arrest these sons of bitches. I could never get in a cop's face for any reason and not get arrested. But we're supposed to feel sorry for these people because they came from a shithole? Well, maybe they should fix their shithole. I don't feel sorry for them, and I don't think the American taxpayer is responsible for these people to give them a better life. Is that selfish of me? See, the thing is, to give these people a better life, you're taking away from our standard of living. That's what these people don't understand. They're complaining bills are so high. They can't afford to live. And hell, they're out protesting to keep the illegals here. There's no connection there. And then they're flat out breaking the law by impeding the law enforcement officers. ICE, we don't have to worry about the Minneapolis Police Department. Like I say, fuck these cities. If I was a tax-paying, law-abiding citizen, I'd look at the cops and say, I have absolutely no respect for you. Don't ever come to try to help me, okay? Because they're obviously protecting the ones that are infringing on your American culture and your prosperity. And then all you morons that say, I'm carrying my gun. I'm protecting my neighborhood. I just ain't going to come here. I'm exercising my constitutional rights. Really? You Call of Duty warriors that don't know the first thing about tactics or anything? When ICE comes to your block, 30 officers, you're going to point your AR-15 at them? Really, you're going to be that fucking stupid and see how fast you can be turned into a piece of Swiss cheese? I mean, really? And if if this was a conservative protest and you had conservatives one conservative armed on the corner of his block protecting his neighborhood, boy, those Minneapolis police would be all over that son of a bitch. But don't worry, Minneapolis police, you're setting the precedent, because once you let these lunatics away with breaking the law one way, you're never going to be able to get them to stop. Once they get to taste that candy, they're going to want that candy all the time. I appreciate it. Same as happening in England. I know. See, all us free countries, all us predominantly white free countries, this is happening to, because our politicians have sold us out. England, France, Germany, not so much Poland. They put a stop to it. Canada. You know, the governments, they don't see a problem. But us citizens are like, hey, we're paying for all this shit. There's a fucking problem. You know, I always say, whatever country goes crazy berserk first, whatever country where the citizens have had enough and start an actual armed revolt, it's going to sit there and be a domino effect through all the Western nations. Okay? This is good battling evil. That's why it's not based on boundaries anymore. You know, and you guys in Europe have been dealing with a lot worse and longer than we have. I mean, a 14-year-old girl's got to pull out a hatchet and a knife to save her and her 12-year-old sister from a fucking bad person. And just because this bad person has a different nationality and came from somewhere else and gets to claim victim status, they arrest the girl. You know, I'm an American. You people in England, you're going to find out exactly how pissed off the American colonists were back in 1775. Okay? You're going to finally find out how pissed off they were. Okay? And you're going to act the same way. It's just you guys aren't armed. Okay? One thing the British soldiers used to say when they came over here during the Revolutionary War, everybody's armed and everybody's really pissed off. Anyway, back to these fucking protesters. Like I say, you're going to carry your gun on your block and act like a fucking tough guy? Like I say, you're impeding law enforcement. You're aiding and abetting by protecting somebody who's breaking the law. I mean, are you kidding me? And you think that's okay? Anyway, but that's the American citizen doing unlawful shit with ICE and these protesters, okay? You know, the government behind them and stuff and supporting them. Now let's go to Maine, should we? The story that I've been watching this morning about Maine and the correctional employee or whatever, recruit, whatever the hell he was, who's an illegal, and they were taping it and shit. You know, as a correctional officer, what, you have been trained to cooperate with the police? But anyway, you know, I hear this sheriff from Portland or Maine saying, well, yeah, we did a background check. His I-9 came back okay. Really? He had to go to immigration court in Texas after you hired him because his I-9 came back okay. I mean, I hope you actually maybe do a little bit more research on the people you arrest, maybe. But this guy's sitting there saying, yeah, well, when it came out, why should we sit there and hamper with somebody who's trying to better their life and become a better citizen? You know, this is the thing, you stupid ass fucking sheriff. Just like ICE. ICE gets paid to do a job, to enforce the laws of this country. They're part of the laws. Okay, you fucking ass, stupid ass sheriff, your job, whether you like it or not, is to enforce the law. Like I say, I'm sure you wouldn't give no white guy like me the pass because I was trying to make my life better. I'm sick of this victimhood shit. You know what, Sheriff? If you ain't going to do your job, get the fuck out. Just get out. Go out and protest on the fucking street. because that's the only worth you have. You're worth no more than that. Okay? Because you're breaking the law by not enforcing it. I mean, you dumbass, you're supposed to be protecting your American citizens in your county, not the illegals. You're supposed to be rounding them up and calling ICE up and saying, pick them up. We got them right here. No, he feels sorry for them. And then the scene that idiot put on. And then the sheriff, well, that's hard to watch. Really? Really? You've been in law enforcement that long and that video's hard to watch for you? What kind of pussy-ass career have you had? I mean, but this is law enforcement. I don't believe in our county we have any illegals. But we have a county that's only got under 2,000 people in it. But the sheriff and I had a discussion once. And he said, years ago, because we have the interstate that goes through the county, Interstate 80. So not that we have them in the county, but they'd stop them on the interstate, call INS. INS would come pick them up during Biden's time, and they had to let them keep going. I had disagreement with the sheriff at the time and stuff. And we were talking about he's bringing into my duty as a Marine and stuff to this country. I said, what about you to the county? I said, how many illegals? I kept asking him, how many illegals do we have in this county? He wouldn't answer the question. But I don't believe we have any. We may have a few. But I said, you going to do anything about them? See, since when are we not allowed to enforce the laws on foreigners? You go to another country and you break the law in that country, they're not going to let you sit there and go home. You're going to jail. You're going to sit there and go to court, and you're going to face the charges that you broke. Okay, even when we were in the military, we traveled these foreign countries. They always told us, hey, you get in trouble out in town, it's your ass. And then after they let you out, then the Marine Corps will deal with you when you get back, okay? Anyway, so anybody who vote for a sheriff that would sit there and put illegal aliens, employing them, and then protecting them as your sheriff, well, you deserve what you fucking get. Your daughter gets raped and killed by an illegal, guess what? The sheriff didn't want to deport them. That's just the way it is. We elect people without a burn. Hello from Italy. Hey, how you doing in Italy? There's another place that's dealing with this shit. I mean, this is, like Germany and Italy. I mean, they dealt with fascism and Nazism. Okay? Do you think they're going to let the future generations of that country are going to let foreigners take over their country? I hear a lot of stories. You on the news, you guys from other countries here get news tips from the United States. Do you believe everything? Well, all I got to say is I'm one American that you ain't going to see a news clip about because I don't believe this shit. And I live in a small area still. Leave it to Beaverland, traditional America. But some of the stuff I hear about Germany, the women getting raped, is people just getting away with it? I mean, I guess when one of these illegals do something really, really, really bad to Americans, then they get deported. Anyway, I realize Trump is trying to deport them, but, like I say, all he's got to do is say, you know what? ICE can't do it by itself anymore. So why don't you American citizens come out? It will give you $1,000 a head for everyone you collect. Call us up, and we'll come get them and give you $1,000 for everyone you get. 98% of them self-deport in 48 hours. And the rest of them would be gone in about 5 days. But see, that would solve the problem. Then you wouldn't have all these videos that's going on in Minneapolis and stuff. They wouldn't be able to sit there and have that. These are liberal, white, middle-aged women Okay? I realized in Afghanistan, our military couldn't conquer men in Toyota pickup trucks. But they did have machine guns on their pickup trucks. Can our government at least put into order these white, liberal, lost their minds women? I mean, can our government stand up to anybody? I just find it funny. You know, we got Trump there talking his tough shit. And what war have we won since World War II? Name one. Yeah, none. Because, see, this was the thing. In World War II, we fought it to win it. Everybody wanted the war to be over. We didn't have the military-industrial complex. It was being created at that time, but they wanted the war over. So we fought the war, ended it. Like I say, we had a rocket on the launch pad that needed 1 million pounds of thrust to go up in the air, and we put fucking 100 million pounds of thrust under it and shot that bitch up and ended that war. But now we have that rocket on the launch pad, and they're only applying 500 pounds of thrust or 500,000 pounds of thrust. So it just sits there and smokes and burns and da-da-da-da, but never goes anywhere. You know, Eisenhower warned us about the military-industrial complex. You know, some politicians did try to sit there and tell us what the future holds. Anyway, but let's get into the Constitution, should we? Because I tell you what, I'm sick of seeing these comments where people sit there and say, well, if you're on the American soil, the Constitution protects you. Okay, no. Do you really understand what the Constitution is? You got the Declaration of Independence, you got the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, okay? 3 different things that are all combined. Okay, the Declaration of Independence, no matter what I think Amy Coney Barrett said, it is part of our law, okay? It's what was the kickstart to start our country. It was the authorization for us to become independent, and we wrote it down, not a problem. Okay, so it is law. You know, basically saying, hey, if the government has a long train of abuses that's just screwing over their citizens, we have the right, the duty and the right to throw off that government. So anyway, that's the Declaration of Independence. How we authorized ourselves to have a revolution. Okay? And it came out successful. And then, you know, states were kind of on their own back then. We didn't have a federal government, per se, as we do now. We, you know, they had, for 8 years, we had the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists, people that were for federal government and people that were against it. Obviously, the Federalists went out because we had a federal government. But even the Federalists that wanted a federal government back then would be completely appalled by what we have now. So they created a Constitution. And once you read the Constitution, the meat and potatoes of it, it's how they formed the government. Okay? The thing with the Constitution, it is the document that the American citizens give the authorization to the federal government to exist and to govern us. That's what the Constitution is. Okay? Our permission written down to the federal government to exist and govern us. But when they ratified the Constitution, the people were like, hey, we need to protect the American citizen a little bit more. So they added the Bill of Rights to the Constitution. Okay? That wasn't originally part of the Constitution. That was added. So you can say it's not the Constitution. It's a separate part of the 3 documents like the 3 forms of government, the Bill of Rights. And what the Bill of Rights says, basically, in the preamble and shit. Hey, how you doing? Impeach, glad to see you. Hey, did you get my message? Let me get off this real quick. Impeach, back in 1989 at Camp Lejeune around Christmas time, we got 18 inches of snow and the base was closed for 6 days. Pretty cool. But yeah, anyway, back on the snow thing. But the Bill of Rights was added to the Constitution when they ratified it because to protect the American people. Remember, this was all done in a different mindset that we have today. The mindset back then was they had just one revolution, dealt with decades of tyranny from a fucking government that screwed them over, raped their kids, stole their wealth and dignity. Okay? So let's just say they were a little gun shy about a federal government, an all-powering government. So they added the Bill of Rights to it. And it basically says that when the government starts infringing on the Bill of Rights at all, even one little thing infringes on our Bill of Rights, it's time to invoke the Declaration of Independence. It's like a circle. They're all connected. And when one gets infringed, the other one's enacted. And it's an agreement, a contract between us American citizens and the people, the government we formed to govern us. It didn't have any foreigners involved, okay? It didn't protect any foreigners. And I don't care what you people, how you interpret the Constitution today. It all goes back to how it was interpreted back in 1789. Okay? Go to that mindset. Hell, we wouldn't be $38 trillion, $40 trillion in debt when it passed to refinance. Can you imagine refinancing $40 trillion? Okay, the birth rate's going down in this country. It needs to go up because the unborn children have a lot of money to pay back. Have you heard anything from Carol yet? Oh, I haven't heard nothing. I haven't heard nothing from Carol for a long time. And like I say, she never really shut me out. But she had diabetes and she was having, anyway, I don't know. I miss her too. She was good people. Okay. Like I say, she didn't always agree with everything I said, but she listened and let me have my opinion. And it's a lot easier to talk to people that have an open mind, at least to listen. Okay? Hey, Audrey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Yeah, that's Impeach. Audrey, he's Impeach. Back when I first met Impeach, back when I was lone wolf prepper. Oh, yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's the whole thing with the Constitution. It doesn't protect people, especially if you came here illegally. Your presence in this country is breaking a crime. How the hell does the Constitution protect you for that? Really, people? I mean, maybe they ain't teaching civics in class in school anymore. Maybe they ain't teaching government anymore. I don't know. Because the way the people interpret the Constitution is pretty crazy. One comment I got sat there and says it's for everybody. All you got to do is be on our soil and the Constitution protects you. And I answered them back. So that means as long as I can get into your house any way possible, then you have to take care of me, right? You know, invasion is an invasion. You want to sit there and say these people are immigrants. No, they're not. They are invading this country. Just go to Dearborn, Michigan. Is that America anymore? Hell no. The signs are written in Arabic too. Tom, where Tom lives is beautiful. Like I say, this is why this is like, it drives me nuts. Living in traditional America. Leave it to Beaverland. You don't have to lock your doors. No matter if you leave for 2 weeks. You don't take the keys out of your vehicle. I mean, everybody knows everybody. Nobody cares how you fucking voted. We all get along. And believe me, if you brought the stupid shit into our county, people from both political platforms would sit there and kick you the fuck out of here. If you're a stranger in our area, we know about it before the cops do. Like I say, 4 cops in the whole county. That tells you how much crime we have. And I got to sit there and watch this shit. Like I say, I got out of Minnesota. This is why I was having my nightmares there. Well, I could worse than my Marine Corps nightmares. Now do you see why? Because as in a white, single male, heterosexual, clinging to my Bibles and guns. I mean, especially during the pandemic. Okay, I don't believe I'm a victim. And I don't believe anybody else is a victim. People make themselves victims, okay? You got the right to bear arms, and you're a woman, and somebody goes to rape you, and you don't have that 32 little purse gun to blow them the fuck away. Well, guess what? You didn't want to exercise your rights. Everything the founding fathers gave us, all the advice they gave us. They knew that they tried to form a government where the people, the future generations, would never have to endure what they endured. They would do everything they could to protect the future generations by coming up with the form of government and the rights they had. But even they knew that eventually they would have to fight for them. I mean, Thomas Jefferson thought it was going to be every 20 years. That would have been an awful bloody history. But maybe it should have been. Anyway, ATF can put you down for being a criminal. I don't agree with the ATF. You know why? Why do we have a 3-letter agency that regulates our Second Amendment? If I am decide to exercise my Second Amendment and bear arms, what is it any of the government's fucking... it shouldn't bother the government at all. It's none of their goddamn business. Okay? If me exercising my rights makes the government fearful, well, then the government must be doing something to make them fearful. Just follow law. We will stay when the FDA putting you down is having, that was during the Biden administration. Those 6 a.m. no-knock raids that the ATF and FBI would have. And guys would come out after they threw in the bang grenade, coming out running in the street in their underwear and get shot down by a bunch of people in body armor and shit. We've gone full circle. It's time to reenact the Declaration of Independence because parties on both sides have lost their freaking goddamn minds. Like I say on the Somalia fraud thing. Have you heard anything yet? I mean, if little 23-year-old Nick Shirley can do all that investigation and come up with it, but what are they doing? They're trying to spend all their time trying to prove that Nick Shirley was wrong. That David guy had been investigating for 5 years because it was going on right across from his place of business. What's happened? I said from the first day they sent the FBI in. The FBI's there to cover it up, not expose it. I mean, how come Tim Waltz ain't in jail? Oh, I bet you I know why. Because Tim Waltz would cry like a fucking little bitch. And he would spill the beans on everybody who's on the Epstein list. Because as sick as Timmy is, I'm sure he's right on the top of that fucking list. Anyway, but all you people that think the Constitution covers you just because you made it to this soil, no matter how you made it, I mean, you freaking flat out kidding me? You mean all the people that have died for our Constitution in our country in the past got to sit there and get slapped in the face in their graves because some fucking moron who doesn't understand the Constitution thinks, hey, you make it here, you're good to go. Hey, why don't we just make it so the Constitution covers everybody on the whole fucking planet? Then you can just, then Trump can make himself king of the planet. It's so easy to debate a liberal. Somebody who doesn't understand facts. Like I say, all these people that sit there I got on my channel giving me fucking, telling me about the Constitution, have never read it. Because it would be boring to them. Be like, this isn't what I thought the Constitution was. I know the first couple sentences of it. But if you think the oath I took to protect that document covers fucking illegals, you're out of your goddamn mind. You don't understand America? Deport your ass with them. And this is the thing with these protesters. Why don't, when ICE arrests one of them and they deport them, who were you supporting again? Oh, the Somalis? One-way ticket to Somalia, lose their citizenship, stay the fuck over there. You know, American citizens protesting because other people from other nations don't have the privilege or the lifestyle we have. And, you know, all of us need to go to work so they can have it, take away from my lifestyle and my success and my pursuit of happiness so somebody else can come over here and live the American dream just because they exist. You know, when you got these Somalis saying, well, hell, America wouldn't be America without us. We helped in their history. Delusional beyond belief. That's why you got these people protesting. I mean, don't they realize in 10 years their kids are going to come up and the grandkids are going to come up to them? Grandma, I saw this video. You acted like a total retard. And like I say, these are people that are already taking their medication. Woo! I love it how somebody who has a declared mental illness and is suffering from mental illness will tell me and instruct me on how to live my life. It's like a really fat person that's in charge, or unhealthy person will say, that's in charge of health, telling me how to be healthy when I'm extremely healthy, what I need to do to be healthy. And I'd be like looking at them, yep, you're the one to give advice. I think I'll just stay on the path that I've been doing for the last 58 years. Worked out good for me. She taught other protesters what not to do. Renee, no good. This is the thing, okay? You like impeach. What would have happened to you if you tried running over a cop with your car? See, us logically thinking people understand what's going to happen. But when you don't deal in reality, you know, how did I hear a pride person say it? It's about morality, not reality. We live for our morality, not for reality. Okay? So basically, you make up your own reality that okays your morality. Anyway. But these are the people, they're not thinking straight. They can't comprehend. They don't look at ICE as law enforcement. You got a dude standing in front of your fucking car that's got a gun, and another one beside your window that's got a gun, and I think there was another one around. Get the fuck out of your car. Any normal human being would do that. Now, I believe our government should be thrown off because they've gone way overboard, putting us, you know, government's supposed to secure the border, ensure the safety of our money supply, and keep us out of foreign entanglements. Okay, they haven't. Our borders are, we're surrounded by illegals. Our money supply is worthless, and we're starting wars everywhere. Okay, our government needs to go for way bigger reasons than enforcing the law. Okay, is this what? How am I supposed to support these morons? You know, yeah, I believe our government is overstepping its bounds big time, but you know what? You know, this is what happens when we didn't do nothing about Trump putting the military in Washington, D.C. They got their foot in the door, everybody. And guess what? They keep pounding the door open wider and wider. I said the military is eventually probably going to do with gun confiscations. But see, you liberals are so caught up on your side and your fucking retarded antics that you can't see the big picture. Just like Mega. Can't see the big picture. The big picture is the government hates all of us American citizens, is replacing all of us with cheap, foreign, dumb, illiterate, retarded workers and AI. And we're going to go way about the wayside. And it don't matter what party it is. Every party's just got a different way of achieving the same damn goal. I'm glad the trans are out. Yeah, they should have never been allowed in the military. Like I say, I'm giving an inspection to my squad. And all of a sudden I have a guy decide that he wants to wear WM's fucking uniform. I think about it now, how I would handle it. I probably would have beat his fucking ass and then called the MPs and have him arrested. I mean, see, this is one thing average civilians don't understand. Okay? Cohesiveness of a ground force. I wasn't even allowed to have a fucking toothache because it was too much of a distraction. And you want to put transgenders. Anyway, just saying. But, yeah. But, you know, the Constitution covers Americans. And we've come full circle. Our government's out of control. Our cities are out of control. Americans don't even understand what America stands for anymore. And the 20% of us, 30% of us that are patriots, you know, the king didn't like patriots either. They were criminals. So I would expect my government to look at me the same way because they're as tyrannical as King George, okay? And when we can all get on the same fucking page, when you liberals can start actually realizing, hey, let's get rid of the illegals and let's start going after the real enemy, we're going to continue to have these problems. But, you know, Trump's just getting the ammunition he needs to put the military in all the cities. And then we can have checkpoints at all major road intersections with saying, can I see your papers? Before you leave your state, can I see your papers? With digital ID and digital currency. See, this is the way they're going to solve all these problems. By making it less free for us, okay? That's why I need to get that set up this year. Because I can see a world of hurt coming. And to all you people that are for this, you know, as a Marine, I'm experienced and trained to deal with these fuckheads that are taking over our country because I dealt with them when I was overseas. Why are we over here doing this? So we don't have to deal with it in the United States. Well, now it's here. So all you people that don't know how to deal with it and are for it, well, when it comes to your front door, it's not Call of Duty, sir. It's not Call of Duty. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here. If you enjoyed the content, please hit the thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification. And please check out my other content. I got well over 1,600 videos on this channel. And you'll see why YouTube gets kind of hard on me. But you know what? To solve our problems, we got to face the truth. to fix your life, you got to sit there, look yourself in the mirror and say, I need to fix this person first. I've done that in my life. Watch all people that we get to a certain age say, I've done going down this road or whatever. And you sit there and try to become a better person than you were yesterday. That's your daily goal. Okay? Do a good deed and become a better person every day. Anyway, I'm glad, brother. Stay with Tom on chat. Okay, Trump 2028. All you people that say that, okay, well, then he's going to run against Barack Obama. And then Barack Obama's going to win. And since we don't have no term limitation on presidents no more, we'll just have Barack Obama till he dies. Okay? Just trying to tell y'all, this is why we have a constitution, because we gotta follow the rules, okay? We have to follow the laws. The government has to follow the rules that handcuff it, okay? Anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed my live stream tonight. I may do another one tonight. I don't usually do a morning one, but like I say, I thought I'd sit in the house for a little bit this morning before I got out there and got crazy in the snow. Why listen? Feel free to move on. You must agree you won't stay. You know, when we all can't even see who the real enemy is, when people are blinded to think that somebody who thinks differently than them or belongs to a political party is their enemy. I mean, until we get past that mindset and we all become Americans again, like on September 12th, 2001. Audrey, you remember that? And Pete, you remember that? If we could all come together like that and realize who the real enemy is, the government would be running fast. Anyway. I like listening to other people. Yeah, the thing is, if you close somebody out, not that you're going to like everything they hear, but you're cutting off your knowledge. Shut somebody up shuts down your knowledge. It's like you're reading a book, get to a part you don't like, you close the book and never open it again. You just restricted your knowledge. And knowledge and stuff that you don't agree with is not always a bad thing either. Okay, I've done lots of jobs in my life. Lots of jobs I like and lots of jobs I don't like. And believe me, most of them other people wouldn't do. But whatever job I did 100% correct and gave my maxed effort. So I could always look back and have pride in it and stuff. So it's nice to hear intelligence. We're suffering from, see, we're getting rid of human intelligence because we want artificial intelligence. We're making machines smarter and human beings dumber. We're going to lose our place on the totem pole, people, okay? And nobody's not going to like not being on the top. Like you say, I like human intelligence. I'm always learning. I'm just always learning. I always, like number 5 is alive, more input, more input. And when I sit there and learn about something or I start doing something, a skill, I master it. It's not, I'm just going to spend a little time at it and see the fringe parts of it. No, I go all in. I mean, when I research something, I research something. And believe me, I'm not saying when I was going through school back in the 70s and 80s, I graduated in 86, that we weren't told the real history, but they didn't tell us all of the real history. Like when I never could understand how Hitler came into power, how he got into power, how this crazy man got into power. And then when I really studied the Weimar Republic and how the German people were so tired of the gay, transgender, retarded sexual bullshit that was corrupting their culture, the average German was so pissed off that they put Adolf Hitler in charge. Any correlation to history going on in this country now? When you push your values on somebody else, that person will rebel. That's why you mind your own fucking business, live your own life, pursue your own goddamn happiness, and improve the one you see in the mirror every day, and then everything else will start getting along. He is the same as Trump. I know. I like I say, check out my other content, and I voted for Trump. That just shows you how bad Kamala Harris was. But then again, during the campaign, Trump didn't say nothing about, well, now he's got a peace committee or commission. Bullshit. $1 billion. So we're going to have a bunch of billionaires telling us what peace is. All our free countries are dealing with insane leaders. Okay? And now we're going to take over Greenland. I mean, Putin and Xi Jinping ain't going to fire a shot. They're not going to have to, because the West is going to collapse. We're $40 trillion in debt. Silver is over $103. Gold's just under 5,000. Can anybody see what's coming? Okay? Like I say, I live and leave it to Beaverland out here. Traditional America. I could get off YouTube, disappear into the mountains, and let the world go as it is. Just not stick my head in the sand because I know what's coming, but just turn my back and save myself. But I don't believe that's what I was put on this earth for, to be a selfish son of a bitch, to make sure I'm one of the few that survive. Trying to get the word out there, people. Trying to get the word out there. And that's why my channel gets the old smackdown. Because they don't want, the last thing they want is a liberal or a Democrat come into this channel and say, hey, like we did years ago, I agree with something he had, some of the stuff he has to say. Not everything. God, I would hope not that everybody agreed with everything I agree with. That'd be a pretty fucked up world if we were all alike now, isn't it? That's why communism doesn't last, because people aren't the same. Anyway, but yeah, appreciate everybody being here. Crazy world, people. Like I say, we got bad shit coming. Make sure you can react when it starts coming down your street or infecting your area. The one who can react and adapt to their surroundings are the ones that survive. Okay? Try to be a survivor. But before you can do that, you got to be able to see the truth through not a blue lens or a red lens, but through clear lenses. That's the first step. Anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. Please hit that thumbs up to subscribe and the bell notification. Check out my other content and share it. Like I say, if you don't like it, like I say, it's my opinion. Just think about it, okay? This country was formed by immigrants who came here to be Americans and had a whole bunch of different ideas on how to make America great. And it succeeded, okay? Because it was a melting pot of people and a melting pot of ideas. But they were all here to be Americans, and the ideas were to make America great. That is not what we got with the invaders nowadays. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here, and I may do another live stream tonight. I don't know, like I say. Maybe I'll take advantage of the weather and kind of just take it easy for the next couple of days. Spend some time on YouTube and give the YouTube algorithm a real headache, because I got a tree business too. And we're starting that up. And anyway, I'll be busy with that. So I got to pay the bills somehow, right? Anyway, but I do appreciate everybody being here, spending your Saturday with me. And I hope you all have a great weekend. And if you're in the storm, at least try to go out, even though I can't stand this. It sucks. Go out and be a kid in it, in the snow. Like that Twilight Zone episode, Kick the Can. Go sit there and play it like a kid once. Maybe put a smile on your face for the rest of the day. Anyway, you're never too old to be young for just a few seconds. Anyway, doing fine in Hawaii. Yeah, I'm sure you are. I tell you what. Yeah, you got snow-capped mountains all year round, don't you? Anyway, never been there. I don't think I'd want to go there. That's a little bit too blue for me. I might get stopped by the wrong person, by the cop, and take me 40 years to get off that island. That's why I don't go back to Minnesota, because they done lost their minds up there. Anyway, everybody have a great day. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. Smile through your day. I'm out of here.